Hi, this is Chris Handenbury from Serious Squash, and you're watching the Advanced Secrets of Solo Hitting. This is more of a ghosting slash training session, and for the record, I am not actually skipping that quickly. Wish I could, but this is just in 2x fast forward mode. This was just my warm up for my session, and what I was doing here was just trying to make sure that my exercises were helping me get my lower body engaged, and that's why I'm doing these lunges with a medicine ball, and then also obviously the skipping to make sure that I'm on my toes. A lot of people, and I'm included in this, have done a lot of solo hitting, tend to kind of be a bit too upright, not using their lower body enough. So I definitely think that doing some kind of warm up, engaging your lower body, can help you get more out of your solo practice, and obviously just making sure that we do some cross training as well as our solo hitting. So you'll see here I'm pretty close to the wall when I'm doing these passes here, but that was I think a 6 kilogram medicine ball, so pretty heavy. So the lighter your ball is, the stronger you are, the further you can go away from the side wall. I think I do some skipping forwards and backwards at some point, so I'm not sure which direction this is, but my warm-up is almost complete, and the drill I'm going to be doing today is one single session. I coin it around the world. Basically all I have to do is hit one target in the back corner, one target in the front in each of the front corners, and then I move to the back left corner. So I'm trying to go around the world hitting one target. I give myself 20 shots to hit a target on a drive and 10 on a drop shot. So if I do not hit that target, then I have to go and do some kind of training in between. And here I will do a bit of skipping or some ghosting, mostly a few court sprints. And here we go. So starting on my forehand drives, probably for me where I hit the most power but least amount of accuracy. So this one took me longer than it should, but my target again was just a squash ball there, so you can adjust this to your level. You can put a bigger target down there. You can, if you do use a bigger target, and then maybe trying to decrease the number of shots. But right now I'm taking 20 shots, trying to hit that ball first bounce, and if I do not, then I'm going to show you some of my training that I did after. So it's actually going to be a bit more of ghosting and training session video than it is just you watching me solo hit some drives and drop shots. So when I do these ghosting moves, you'll notice a lot of them are open stance. And as I watch more and more of the PSA matches, I see how fast the game has gotten. And obviously 36 years old, not getting any younger. So definitely trying to get used to playing the ball early, and that's what I always tell a lot of my students. Playing the ball early doesn't always mean volley. It just means playing the ball earlier than you necessarily have to. So again, just getting comfortable doing that. You're going to be under a little more pressure, maybe not as balanced, so that's going to include a lot of open stance drills. And here's just a side angle. You'll see again open stance for most of these. I did do a couple off my left leg there, just trying to make sure that I use both my left and right leg. So each of these I do 10 ghostings, and then I go back and do 20 drives. So I've kind of just edited out the 20 drives that I missed my target. I don't think that would be too interesting for you guys to watch. So I'm just basically right now every new 10 sets of ghosting, or if I do skipping or court sprints, just means that I did my 20 drives and did not hit the target. So here I am back trying to hit that target, so I put it just behind the service box, so that's kind of close to an attacking drive. So I think depending on where you want that ball to land in the back corner after the first bounce, it depends on how bouncy the ball is if you're trying to hit that attacking drive. So there, I think it maybe took me 15-20ish minutes, including the training, to hit that back right target. And here I am now. You can see the ball in the front right. So I've already done a few drops and missed it. So now I'm off doing some ghosting. And you'll notice when I'm doing this, I'm still trying to split step, trying to play the ball in front of me. So here, pushing off the right foot to move to the left, and pushing off the left foot to move to the right side, and playing open stance on both of these drop shots. And whenever I'm doing some ghosting, I'm always really trying to visualize what shot I'm trying to hit and trying to actually play the exact same I would in a match. And when I do go through some of these patterns, I always notice there's certain corners, maybe 1 foot or the other, which are a bit more uncomfortable for me. So I find this kind of exercise is a really good way to learn where your strengths and weaknesses are in your movement. And it usually just has a tendency to do with how you tend to play in your matches. So I find like moving into the back left corner, moving to the front right corner, like those kind of areas, pretty common, but it's the patterns of which 2 corners you put together which can be the most difficult. And you can use those to find out where you need to improve your movement, and maybe also where you can kind of play your opponent in a pattern that they might have trouble with. So here again, I've taken some feeding, done some drops, but again, I've edited that out and just basically showing the ghosting in between my shot. So I guess this is the 3rd or 4th time that I've missed my drop shots. So just going now corner to corner, trying to vary every time I ghost. Some of them I'm pausing in the tee. Some of them I'm actually going right through the tee, doing a bit more conditioning. But I definitely think it's important to make sure you do a little bit of both. Some for speed, and you're obviously just trying to get the fitness part, and some you're trying to actually make sure you stop, pause, and you can have that split step and start stopping off the tee. So this was basically my exercise here, and I'm just feeding on the bounce. You could do this on the volley. I'm trying to feed it a little bit away from the side wall so I have that angle to hit the nick, as I know a lot of coaches want you to kind of angle your drops getting tighter, but as your feed is looser, then you can aim for a more severe angle, go for that neck. So that's what I was doing for my drop shots here. And now you can see front left corner, I've moved my squash ball target up to there. It's probably about a racket and a half to 2 rackets back from the tin. So again, pretty small target. Actually, I thought this would be a little bit quicker, but I was kind of all around it. And as the ball gets cooler again, because you're going and just feeding for drop shots, and you go do your exercises, it's a little bit tricky. So you have to kind of adjust this as you're going. And that's why I'm hitting a 3-wall boast, just to kind of keep a bit of pace inside the ball. So I think if you're doing, I did drive on the forehand, now drop on the forehand, and then drop now on the backhand. So again, you could either hang onto the ball as you're doing your movement to try to keep it a little bit warm, which I think I'm doing right here, or you could just maybe have another ball for drops, trying to use like a red dot or a blue dot to keep it a little warmer. I just tried to feed a little firmer, just so the ball had a little bit of heat to it. But here we are back to my ghosting, so you can tell I'm trying to do a little pause on the tee, and then 3 steps. Second step is back to the tee from that back corner. So I'm always thinking about not just the movement to the ball, but also back to the corner. So again, this is a new pattern, which just means I've edited out the 10 drop shots that I've missed. So here, a slight pause, and I find that's the hardest part in squash. Is it's easy to kind of run right through the tee, and it's actually hard to stop and then start up again quickly. And I'd like to think if I did this a little bit more, trained a little bit more, was coaching less, playing more, then I'd be a little bit more explosive, especially that first step. But again, that's what these kind of drills are for. So trying to not only improve the quality of our movement, but the explosiveness, the speed of our movement too. And here again, just open stance, back corners. Right now, just visualizing a drive, probably what I would play if I'm under pressure, playing open stance. And open stance, again, that's going to change how I set up to play my shot. So my backswing might be a little bit shorter. I'm going to have more of an open racket face. So it's going to change how you're going to prepare for that shot. So definitely things you can work on as you're ghosting. Here, actually, I don't think I've seen too many players do this before. Just trying to, again, pretend like I'm under pressure, playing with a very short backswing, but still seeing if I can pretend to drive the ball using my wrist a lot. So there's a lot you can work on in your movement that has to do with your racket skill. So you might think that looks like poor preparation, but using your movement into the ball, plus using the flick of the wrist, you can still actually generate enough pace to get those shots to the back corner. So that's, you can see, I don't think I really do any different ghosting sessions here or routines twice. So I'm really trying to vary it. Here I'm just going side to side right through the tee and trying to play different shots. So you can see different heights of shots, some volleys, some I'm getting lower, playing drop shots. That would be a drop. So definitely trying to really visualize the shot I'm hitting. And I think even though you're not actually off the court visualizing, it's a good way to see shots that you want to hit and think about your preparation, your swing, the swing path, your movement into these shots. And again, they play dividends. If you can practice these here without the ball, without your opponent, then I think it's going to help you in when you actually include the ball, put some pressure in here. And that's why, I try to do a lot of these open stance, different patterns, a lot of them pausing in the tee, but a few I just want to try to go a little bit quicker. Again, like to see maybe a little bit more speed here, but I don't know. I've probably already done about 150 or 200 ghostings so far. So here I was just switching up a little bit. I mean, I'm not training every day like somebody who's playing a lot of tournaments. So I try to mix it up a little bit. I'm doing, this is called a cordy. So basically a court sprint, but skipping out of touching the back and front wall. So you notice how I don't just turn and run around. You don't want to do that in squash, because if I did that, then I move back to the tee. I'm basically have my back facing where the ball might be. So definitely a good way to adjust your court sprint, not quite as quick, but a little bit better for movement. And here I am actually doing a bit of skipping too. So you can change this exercise. I mean, this is a routine that I did for my training session. You can make it for push-ups, for court sprints, for ghosting, for skipping, for anything you want. I mean, there's a lot of exercises you can do that don't have to do with, you don't need to be in a gym for. And again, it's trying to find that ratio, which is effective. So I find that I think I just hit the ball there. So I liked having that challenge of knowing that I have 10 drops, or now I'm going back to the back left corner. I have 20 drives, and it makes me really focus on each and every shot, which is what you want to do in a match. So trying to focus on each shot, trying to hit that target on every shot, instead of just coming out and hitting a squash ball for an hour and maybe 15 to 20% of those shots I'm really focused. Here I'm actually really engaged and focused on each shot, and I'm also getting some physical conditioning and improving my movement, as well as the racket skill. So I think that I used to do a lot of solo hitting to kind of give the rest of my body a bit of a break, because training was really hard physically. But again, this is another way where if you want a little bit more conditioning, you want to make your solo practice more challenging, more engaging, then there's a pretty simple way to do that. And again, you could maybe time this and see how long it took you to kind of finish all 4 corners, go around the world. And obviously, as you get better, then you should be seeing that time decrease. And obviously, that depends on what exercises you do in between your drops and your drives. So backhand straight drives, probably my best shot. So this was probably my quickest target, even though I was a little tired after doing, I was on court for almost an hour doing warm up and all my ghosting and solo hitting here. So there, I got my last target. All right, I have to finish with my favorite solo hitting drill. So if you've seen the secrets of solo hitting, you know what this is. Just 3 nicks. So it's just like it sounds, just trying to hit 3 nicks in a row. I think I already have, so just kind of didn't want to stop. But I hope you enjoyed this video and gave you a good idea for how to improve your solo sessions. And if you want to pick up one of the full-length instructional films, there's a code to do so.